Greetings to all, my name is Evgeny Belousov, and in my blog I intend to share insights on aviation, documenting my journey of obtaining a pilot's license, outlining my plans for establishing a business in this industry, and of course discussing the exciting innovations that lie ahead and the transformative changes that await us in the near future. Today I am going to an exhibition in Vegas to witness the latest innovations that will be showcased and presented, including the advent of flying cars. I genuinely want to see all of this, to witness firsthand what it looks like, and of course to show it to you. Let's go and see for ourselves, shall we? While I'm charging my car, I'm looking into which companies will present their flying machines at the exhibition, and one of them is Hyundai, a fairly large manufacturer. They will have such a concept, more like a drone, a helicopter. I'll tell you more about it later. Or Xpeng, one of the largest Chinese manufacturers of electric cars, will also present a vehicle that looks more like a car. It can fly at about 120 miles per hour, but in principle, it's necessary to see it live. How does it all look? I'm following Steve Versano on Instagram, who sells business jets, and he says that the next generation of aviation is, of course, flying machines, the so-called eVTOL.
The next big thing in aviation and transportation is flying cars, and they're called eVTOLs.
But the biggest problem will probably be with regulation and where these flights will be allowed and in which country they will be the first. They say that flights of these copters will start somewhere in Europe first, although pre-orders are already possible by the end of this year, and the cost will be around $120,000. And with regulation and automation too, I think there will be a problem, because a lot of testing is needed. But looking at the example of a Tesla car, it's already clear that these cars are much safer. Companies like Skyrise, which are not far from my house, are involved in automating flights, and quite a lot of companies are now working on the automation of flights, and I think that even if many cars take off and fly, it will be quite safe. I hope it will improve the world. I don't know how to say it. I have to go and see it live. Let's go and see.
For the record, I'm done trying to make y'all comfortable. For the record, you ain't trying to grow, then it's done for you.
The road is not fast. The road will probably take about 4 or 5 hours. It's been an hour already. We drink Red Bull. Of course, the Tesla autopilot makes the road go faster. You can browse something, although it is prohibited. Only half an hour left and we're already on our way.
This is our room. In principle, it is very good. Let's see what kind of view from the window. I hope for a sphere. Oh, look at this. It's a perfect view. I have never been to Las Vegas when it is below zero, not even once, and I experienced snowfall while I was driving my vehicle. Last time I was here, it was around 50 degrees. I came across one object during my visit. This is certainly not about aviation, but about innovation. I think everyone knows this place. Let's go inside and see what's there.
Funhouse active, king of the palace, rubber like Malcolm, balled up fist in the air to the flashlight, yeah, hands up in the air till they gun me down. I keep it 100, they crunching the numbers, I'm bringing out.
Arrived at the scenes to Xpeng. This is a Chinese car manufacturer. It is one of the market leaders in the automotive industry that specializes in producing electric vehicles. Appears cool. Now I will demonstrate to you as well. His wings fold into the trunk of the tree.
Young nigga got a fetish for success. If I ain't next, and I just leave impression. Next to rain on the window pane, puffy plain Jane. Let him second guess me when a cup.
I just arrived, decided to record some additional moments and tell you how everything went, some conclusions. For example, I would like to tell you about the road. I was driving from Los Angeles to Las Vegas for about 5.5 hours, and it took about 15-20 minutes to charge the car, plus I stopped by for a snack. Basically not so long. The road is good and time went by quickly. About how much this trip cost me? The road was free because Tesla has a program for which 6 months of free charging. Living was also free because I have a credit card from Amex which has cooperation with Hilton, and you can book a hotel for yourself on bonuses. For the dog, I paid $60 for the night. Plus for a drink, a meal, it took about $100, because in Las Vegas, food is, of course, expensive. Las Vegas, by the way, one of those cities where probably one of the cheapest hotels in America, but all the accompanying expenses are higher than average. If I booked a hotel for cash, the night in this hotel cost $350, since there were days of conferences. The prices at the hotel were Of course, several times higher than usual. Later one evening, we went to play at the slots machines. Spent about $50. I'm not a very unpretentious person, and I can't sit in a slots machine for a long time, especially since I understand the probability that you will leave with a greater sum of money than came. It is minimal. Although, if you play on the machine, sometimes it's cool to sit down and spend time, especially if you have no desire to lose all your state in these machines. Later that evening, we went and visited the famous object, the sphere. Very cool experience. I liked it. The only thing I need to say, this is an important detail, in the pandemic, Las Vegas went extinct. There was practically no one there. But over time, Vegas came to life again. New objects appeared as the sphere, and there were too many people. And this, of course, became a small problem because in line, despite the fact that I already had a ticket, I spent about an hour and a half. The ticket cost me $100. The first day of the exhibition, I went to the building that I was required to go to. It was possible to go to it by bus, and I was looking for a bus for about 5 minutes and drove for 30 minutes again, although on foot. There were a lot of different exhibits, performances, presentations, but I wanted to spend more time on aviation and some objects that are related to aviation. The first stand I visited was a stand from Xpeng, an electric car manufacturer that can move the wings and fly up to 150 miles per hour. In general, these companies already have 3 drones, and there is even a 6-wheeled car that can accommodate 5 people, and it has a drone in the trunk, and if necessary, you also sit down and fly on your own. It looks, of course, like an unreal future, but they say that this year it will be possible to make a pre-order, and next year mass production will begin. The next object that I wanted to visit was such a flying helicopter, taxi from company called Supernal. To get there, I took advantage of a project from Elon Musk called the Loop. This is actually a subway in which Tesla cars are moving. You go down the escalator, the driver meets you, and you get through the tunnel to the next building. And so I entered the building and saw this flying helicopter. Of course, it pleasantly surprised me. It looks very futuristic, like a spaceship from the future. It is equipped with 8 rotors, can accommodate 4 passengers and 1 pilot, and is capable of flying at a speed of 120 miles per hour. They say that test flights will be held in the United States at the end of this year, and of course I would like to participate in them and see how it all goes. In general, the exhibition is very cool. It occupies almost half of Vegas. It seems to me that startups, some technological companies, present their latest innovations there. And if someone wants to visit, it seems to me that it is worth doing. I just had time to look at what was interesting to me, and I spent only 1 day. The question is for you. Would you be interested to try to fly on such cars? And are you waiting for such a future? Now I would like to summarize in general about new types of drones, flying machines, and about what awaits us in the future. Many people perceive this as an unreal future, but I believe that all the necessary technologies are already in place. A lot of companies are engaged in production, building their concepts, already conducting test launches. For example, I live not far from the company Skyrise, which is engaged in the automation of flights on helicopters. And it will soon look like you get on a helicopter or a plane, there is an iPad. You just type in the data and the coordinates where you need to fly, it takes off, flies, and lands itself. Therefore, it seems to me that such a future is waiting for us soon. As for safety, it seems to me that it will be even safer than moving on the road, because all cars or drones, planes, helicopters will be equipped with sensors and see each other, and accordingly, there should be much less accidents. And the most important thing is that if the engine fails in this flying object, then most of the flying drones, planes, will now be equipped with a parachute. And if something happens in the air, you just press the button and the parachutes open and you land safely on the ground. About regulation. At these events, there are almost always representatives of FAA, TSA regulators, and they of course are aware of everything that is happening and are slowly preparing the ground for it. Moreover, such companies as Helix Pivotal, They make ultralight drones, and this fits the legislation, and you can fly virtually without a license. So I think there are literally a couple of years left, and more people will be using this type of transportation for their everyday needs. I will try to attend such events and show it to you. Thank you for watching, and goodbye to everyone.